The second to last army in the world never ceases to amaze the world with its military technologies. No way.
Ha 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 ha. Wow, this is firewood with them. I get it. It protects against wooden bullets.
The advanced solutions of the Russian military-industrial complex paired with highly trained fighters often look exactly like this in practice.
Let's figure out what needs to be done.
But the bunker grandpa seems oblivious to who and what is actually defending his delusional ideas on the front. Rocket launchers on UAZ vehicles, evacuation of the wounded on motorcycles, advanced squads of cripples on walkers, and wooden plates in bulletproof vests. These are the current realities on the front for the Russian army. We will talk about them in Arsenal. In attempts to plagiarize Ukrainian unity, many charitable organizations have sprung up in Russia since the beginning of the war. However, they managed to steal the idea, but not the essence itself. Because for such volunteer deliveries to the front in Ukraine, one would simply be imprisoned. But in Russia, this is the norm.
What kind of plate is this? Let's take a look. Some kind of Chinese one. Yeah, probably. Could it be Kevlar? No. Subtitles made by Dimitrorzak. Holy crap! Firewood with you. I got it. It protects against wooden bullets.
We are conducting these developments. We are ready to start production. We have already, in principle, so to speak, given the appropriate directive to the industry.
Wood in the Russian Federation is generally a favorite material for everything. It grows by itself. The main task is to cut it down and carve whatever your heart desires. Want extra protection for tanks? Want to reinforce bridges for armored vehicles? After all, building from sticks and, well, you get it. In Russia, it's a widespread tradition.
I didn't even know such technologies existed on bridges. Home sealant. As for what's here, I'll keep quiet. And all of this is literally supported on wooden planks.
But a bridge on planks is far from the only thing a Russian person can come up with out of desperation.
Belgorod region. A local resident painted BNR on the roof. And the roof, as you can see, is still intact. Well, what else is there to do? If there's no air defense, at least let them hand out Ukrainian flags to the residents.
But the Russian leadership hands out crutches so that the second army in the world can continue fighting for the dacha in Gelendzhik and Putin's billions. After all, losing limbs for a Russian soldier is just part of the hardships of military service.
With crutches, with sticks. Here's a guy without a leg at all on crutches ahead of me. With a cane.
This is a very huge advantage that our armed forces have. I think that no one else can act like this today.
Doctors and those in the rear are at a loss because the few who have been lucky enough to survive and receive treatment are doing everything they can to extend their medical leave. But they encounter very sensitive doctors there.
A lot of wounded have passed through my hands. Even when I have a concussion, and I know how to easily check for this concussion just once or twice. No, you go to the front line. Please help, save. Please. Well, not me. What can I do? What can I do for you?
And the desire not to return is quite justified. If we set aside the fact of the meat grinder of war, the frontline realities of the soldiers are also complemented by such vivid experiences. We collect drinking water. There are drops on the ceiling. And accordingly, into the jar. Sometimes we get luckier with water, then problems arise with food.
In the room, there. If there's food, you eat. If not, you don't. That's it. Well, at least there's a stream flowing. You can at least get some water, otherwise nowhere. Survive however you can, either from hunger or from a bullet. That's all.
Even if the stars align and the provisions do arrive, that's still no reason to rejoice. We sit down to eat. There's something called United Russia. The situation with weapon supplies is no better, as equipment from the same era as the 1960s canned meat is sent to the front.
The heavy Soviet tank Joseph Stalin II, better known as IS-2, became one of the symbols of victory in the Great Patriotic War.
Behind me, right here. Here it is, the little cannon. In short, when it was made, my grandfather was 10 years old, just for a moment.
And here, the same principle works as with people. Become disabled. They patch you up and back to battle. As you can see, there's practically nothing visible for the driver mechanic. Meanwhile, the turret is jammed. It has no shells and doesn't fire at all. And really, what is there to shoot with here? This is a Russian T-62M, which was made back in the 60s. Now it has no armor, no shells, and was used for transporting personnel. Meanwhile, the crew was taken prisoner here. Meanwhile, as you can see, the dynamic protection it has is empty. The ammunition is missing, the gun is jammed, the turret is jammed. It was simply used as a taxi. So the Kulibins have to improvise on the fly. Doesn't fit in the grad? No problem. We'll shove it into a homemade pipe on a tripod. Not enough armor? Also not a problem. A launch block for S-8 air missiles can be easily mounted for firing on a UAZ vehicle.
Volley, volley, volley.
And it doesn't matter that aimed fire is impossible under such conditions. It flew somewhere, and that's fine.
Our armed forces are becoming so capable and so ready to conduct, to use modern means of armed struggle to an extent that no other army in the world is prepared for or can do.
Here's our unit Storm. Damn, what troubles we've gotten ourselves into. Did you give your word or something? How is it normal? Help people.
Meanwhile, attempts to often produce something worthwhile turn into isolated cases for PR on Russian TV.
To complete the image of the soldier of the future, really, only an exoskeleton is missing. That's the kind of wrap the guys came up with. Backpack. Let's go for a run. Honestly, I'm not much of a runner even without a backpack. But in principle, it's possible. And you're ahead of the drone. You can definitely go for a run. Well, we just checked. It works for 200 meters.
But these 200 meters become almost the only ones on the front covered by unparalleled developments. Where the correspondent's foot has not stepped, everything remains the same.
A kamikaze worked on us. The kamikaze worked. There's a heavy guy. His leg got detached. The guys ran over there, dragging him to the quad. The quad worked on us.
But what is encountered everywhere in the Russian army is money scams, to use the words of their own supreme commander.
Until February 7th, we were in the LNR, Kremlin, Rubizhna. And from February 7th, we were transferred to the Belgorod region, Russian Federation. After being transferred to the Belgorod region, they stopped paying us combat pay, even though our losses in the Belgorod region are many times greater than in the LNR.
For not evading an enemy shell but surviving, you also need to be paid in order to...
And the amount is quite substantial. The first case that regarding the Euro vehicle, they extorted 150,000 from it. The second time they demanded either 100,000 or 1,300,000.
These are the realities for heroes of the special military operation, fighting for unclear reasons, using their grandfather's equipment with the same slogans. Their brainwashed minds don't realize they themselves, though, have become the fascists they intended to fight against. But perhaps how much they are needed by their motherland can best be explained to them by the Russian command through its supplies, support, provisioning, and orders. Did you like this video? Then don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to our channel, so you don't miss new episodes of Arsenal. Only here awaits you a true celebration.